Elliott Sadler, driver of the number 2 One Main Financial Chevrolet. Elliott has held the Nationwide Series points lead for 13 consecutive weeks and has top 10 finishes in the last 3 races here at Richmond. Elliott, talk a little bit about being back at your home track and tonight's race.
It's very exciting. It's cool to come here to Richmond. I've been coming here a long time. I mean, since the late 70s, early 80s to watch my uncle race here, and then later on to watch my brother race. And been in the stands here a long time. I was here when we tore the fence down to make it from a half-mile to a three-quarter-mile track. So, Richmond's, it's 50 minutes from my front door to the racetrack, so it's very close. And it's always special to come here and race in front of a lot of the people that got to see you racing go-karts, grow up racing go-karts and racing on short tracks around here in late models. So it's a great place to come race to. Like you said, 3 top 10s in a row. We want to try to add to that a little bit, make that a little better, and hopefully we'll be able to do that tonight.
All right, let's go ahead and open it up for questions. Over here to Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. How do you stay atop the points with apparently you knowing that you're not going to be back at RCR, and can you kind of give us an update on what your plans are for next year?
I think it's going to be pretty easy to stay focused. It's not every day that you get a chance to win a championship or you get a chance to win races week in and week out. And I saw Tony Stewart and Darian Grubb win a championship knowing that they were going to be somewhere different the following year. I've seen Matt Kenseth compete at a very high level, all summer long, and I think is a legitimate threat to win the championship on the Cup side. And we're going to do the same thing. Me and my guys are very focused. A lot of guys on my race team have never won a championship. I've never won a championship in NASCAR's top 3 levels. So even though it looks like I will not be a part of RCR next year, I think to be in this situation that we're in the points battle that we're in, and it's having the success that we're having, I think it's going to be pretty easy to stay focused. My guys want it really bad. They deserve it. I want it really bad. I feel like I deserve it if I keep doing what I'm supposed to do. And, Richard Childress deserves it. He's given me everything I could possibly ask for as a race car driver to be competitive week in and week out. And we're going to go try to make it happen.
All right, back here in the very back.
Elliott, Mark Davis, NBC 12 here in Richmond in the back. You've been coming here your entire life. Can you just talk about how special it would be to get a checkered flag here tonight?
Well, we want to win here. I got close in 2005, got wrecked on the last lap, and finished second, and that still burns today. It's weird how certain things you can remember. So tonight we have a pretty cool paint scheme. It's like a metallic silver paint scheme. We're celebrating One Main Financial's 100th anniversary, and we're doing that at my home track. So a lot of cool things lining up and happening here all at one time. And this is the same car I sat on the pole with and won at Iowa, and was very fast at Bristol with it too. So this car's got a lot of success this year. I think we've won 3 races in this one particular car, and hopefully it'll be able to find its way to victory lane tonight. But this could be my last race at Richmond. I don't know. So it'd be cool to go out with a bang and try to win the race.
All right, we're going to stay in the back.
Elliott back here, Sean Robertson, CBS 6. You talked about your goals for this year. Can you talk about what the future holds for you and the rumors that are out about you possibly going to JGR?
Yeah, right now I don't have anything with any team, and I don't know. That day will come, and we're working on some things, and we are talking to some different teams, and hopefully some will come together. But I made a promise to myself this week. I'm going to worry about controlling the things I can control. I'm not going to worry about anything else. I'm going to worry about how I drive on the racetrack, how fast I can get my race car, and how many points I can get each week if I can't go to victory lane. And that's all I can control, and that's all I'm worried about right now. If we can just stay focused on the job at hand, which I think is going to be pretty easy for myself and my team, we're going to be fine.
All right, right over here to David.
Are you talking to teams about a Cup ride or about a nationwide ride or both?
Both.
Up front to Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. Why did the things with RCR not work out? Was it your decision? Was it their decision? Can you kind of shed any light on that?
I just think, sometimes circumstances just don't always, the stars don't always line up. I don't think it's, I just don't think it's no big deal. Just not going to be able to race with those guys next year. And it's tough, and and if you bear with me for a minute, when I got the job with RCR at the beginning of the season, my dad's has been a Chevrolet dealer forever, and I grew up an Earnhardt fan. And my spotter, who's been with me 12 years, Brett Griffin, some of you guys know him, he grew up an Earnhardt fan too. And it was neat when we got to come to Childress and walk through the shop the first time, and you see all those pictures of your hero on the wall and thinking, we can add to this. We can put some banners on the wall, and we can be a part of RCR's history and win some races, and would love nothing more than to bring a championship to Richard. He's a good man. Has been great to me. He's helped resurrecting my career, to be honest with you, and it'd be an honor to be able to put something on the wall before we leave for the man that was on the car of your hero growing up. So it's just some things, everything happens for a reason. We're going to probably go our separate ways at the end of the season, but we still got 9 races left to go together to make this happen.
Over here to the left with Stan.
Yes, Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. With everything you've said, does this reduce your championship possibility at all this year?
That's a fair question, and that's a good question. But one thing Richard and I promised each other, and you guys know Richard just as well as I do, he's a racer at heart, and he's a hell of a car owner. And he's promised me any and everything we need to get this deal done. He wants it just like I do. I mean, he wants to, we're in a great position to win the Drivers' Championship and the Team Owner Championship. And I think that's pretty good bragging rights for both of us if we're both able to pull that off. So we're going to, we've both made a hell of a commitment to each other for these last 9 weeks to do the best, everything we can to put our best foot forward and try to win this championship. He wants it and I want it. We both want it. We have the same common goal, and I think that's why we ran so good all year long. We both wanted to show everybody how good our stuff can be. His first year really back in the Nationwide Series as an owner, and really me being a legitimate threat week in and week out. It's been a lot of fun.
Up front with Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Elliott, you said that RCR had sort of resurrected your career. Do you feel as if you're then a much more attractive candidate than you were when the stuff with RPM ended in 2010, and feel as if you're getting interest and don't have any worries about you're going to end up somewhere? It's just a matter of where.
I hope so, Nate. I really felt like I was at the bottom of the barrel when all the stuff happened at RPM, and we left there, and Kevin and Delana gave me a chance, put me in a great situation. And then, of course, merging with RCR like they did, I think really my stock and what people think of me as a race car driver is way different now than it was 2 or 3 years ago. It's back how it was when I drove the 38 car and we were successful being a part of the chase and winning races and stuff like that. So I hope so. So it's I definitely have a lot more interest and a lot more phone calls now than I did two years ago before I started driving for Kevin and Delano. So that makes me feel good.
In the middle with Tom.
Hey, Elliott, Tom
Hey, Tom.
Jensen, Speed.com. How much is your confidence up leading the points for so long, and how good do you feel right now being in that position, and how confident are you going forward?
Tom, my confidence right now is sky high. My knowledge of the race car right now is better now than it's been maybe ever. I know more about these new cars, these new car tomorrows. Luke has done a great job of really explaining to me when we make changes and what it does and what I should be feeling. And I've really learned the ins and outs of this race car very well. And we understand what the car is going to do when we go into the race from practice. I just have a lot better feel all the way across the board, confidence-wise. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of that's because of Luke Lambert. He, to me, is the next great crew chief in this sport. He reminds me a ton of Kenny Francis and Rodney Childers when I worked around them. He's very methodical, got a ton of knowledge, works with his guys real well, understands what the driver's saying, has a racing background. And he's really helped me understand why the car does certain things and why I'm feeling certain things. So my confidence right now is really, really high inside the race car. I feel like, and it helps when we race on Saturday and race against a lot of these Cup guys that come down, and we're able to outrun them and run with them on Saturday, and then they go win the race on Sunday. Hell, that makes me feel pretty good. That definitely gets my confidence up. You're
All right,
welcome.
staying in the middle with David.
Yeah, Elliott, David Newton, ESPN.com. Just to clarify, have you been or were you offered an opportunity to stay at RCR?
I think I've answered that question a couple times today.
In the middle with Joe.
Menzer, NASCAR.com. Elliott, are you kind of stunned to be in a position where you're looking for a job, or at this point in your career, it takes more, nothing really surprises you or numbs you? Are you kind of numb to it, I guess?
It's it's been a tough, last 4 or 5 years. Different things I've been through. This is not tough at all. I've been through a way worse situations with race teams and things like that. Right now, I feel pretty good about the situation I'm in. I got great equipment. I got a good race team. We got fast race cars. I got an owner that's committed to him being a champion and me being a champion. Is it tough looking, wondering if you're going to have a job, or wondering what team you're going to be with, or wondering what situation you're going to be in next year? Yeah, that's a little, it's a little different, but I don't know if it's tough. It's tough if the phone's not ringing. That's when it's tough. When I went through the stuff I went through with RPM, and you're calling everybody, nobody call you back. That's way tougher. It's a lot different now when you're having different dialogue with different teams, and you're sharing a lot of information with each other on what the future is and what the future holds and different opportunities, and hopefully we can put ourselves and find the right situation that's good for me moving forward, and we'll try to make that happen.
Back in the back with Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Elliott, not especially pertaining to confidence itself, but what has success helped you relearn about this sport and whatnot?
As a race car driver, you got a feel that the car gives you. And throughout the beginning part of my year, and beginning part of my years when I drove nationwide years ago, and the 21 and the 38 car and stuff like that, I could tell you what the car was doing. And then I got in a period with the 19 car when we're racing old cars and show cars and all the crap that we went through with that. I couldn't tell you at all what the car was doing. I had no feeling at all. And then when I got hooked back up with Ernie Cope at KHI, Ernie and I knew each other from the Robert Yates days. So the first day I walked in, he said, "We're going to run good." He said, "I've worked with you before. I know you can drive a race car. We're going to get your feel back, get your confidence back." So it's just getting back, relearning what the car is doing again, relearning how to communicate with my crew chief to tell him what I need. I went through where I could do it, and I went through that I didn't know what in the hell was going on. Now I'm back at the point now I can tell Luke exactly what I'm feeling and exactly what I need to be faster by the stopwatch. And that is, as a driver, you can ask any driver, whether it's on our side of the garage or the Cup side of the garage. If a driver feels like he can tell his crew chief everything he needs to go faster, he's going to be really hard to beat week in and week out.
All right, last question over here to the left with Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Two things. The first one is, do you take a sponsor with you? Do you have sponsorship going with you when you move to wherever?
I do not have a sponsor in my pocket, no.
Okay. And the second question is, we've talked so much about the Cup Championship. How tough do you think the Nationwide Championship will be this season with the young guys coming up and the scrapping and the talent that's behind you right now in points?
Well, Ricky's the real deal, and I think you guys are going to learn that when he gets in the Cup Series. He's very fast in the Nationwide car, and I think he's got like one Cup start for the 21 car and the 600 a couple years. I think he finished 9th, if I'm not mistaken. But he's really fast. He knows what he's doing, and especially on the 1.5 mile tracks, and we got a lot of 1.5 mile tracks left on our schedule. It's going to be tough. I think if you look at the Nationwide point standings all season long from Daytona to now, nobody's really gotten off to a big lead. It's all hit or miss, and the guy usually leading stumps his toe, and everybody else catches up. So it's going to be good racing from here to the end. I think it's going to be exciting. Sam and Austin, are still really close also. So, man, we just see. Anything can happen at any of the racetracks. With any of the restart, we've seen it with any of the restarts, anything can happen. So we just got to keep racing hard, keeping ourselves in position, and, hopefully good things will happen to us. But really want to win this championship. It'll mean a lot to me and my family, and not a better feeling in the world if I can look Richard Childress in the eyes at Homestead and hand him that trophy. Will be the coolest feeling in the world. So that's the goal we're working towards.